I'm going to just stay in frame and try to do it. Welcome back. Mind Bully Podcast, a podcast focused on beating the hell out of your negative voice. This here host, Lawrence Odiase, fine young brother, Dallas, Texas, a Ninja boy, Nigeриan, a Nigerian boy, sibling, as I am, youngest of 4 siblings, a twin. And yeah, I said that, so we're friends. Now you know who I am. And this podcast, like I said, is a podcast focused on overcoming the negative voice, the limiting voice, the negative self-talk tape, the limiting belief that you have about you and your life. This is where we overcome that voice. Right now, on this episode, on this date, we're in a different location. I'm outside in this location. It's a location where I usually take my content to. And I feel like this bridge is a great space for me to think. And if you don't know, if you're new here, I never edit these videos. I just do it. These episodes, I do it because my permission, I'm giving you that. I'm giving you permission to be yourself. And in this world today, 2024, it happens to be November of 2024. We always try to do and try to be perfect at everything. It's impossible to be perfect at everything. And this is my prompting to myself and prompting you to do so. Anyways, for this very episode, for this very day, I've never done it on the bridge before, so I kind of want to spin around and walk around. But anyways, for those listening on the audio, this very episode today, the week of Thanksgiving, I think it's appropriate to actually speak on Thanksgiving, the offering, the ability to offer thanks to Jesus Christ for me itself, the ability for you to offer thanksgiving to the people that really have impacted your life. I know in my life, in my walk, I am so ambitious and audacious and trying new things that I seldom take time to really practically give thanks to the people, give thanks to God, give thanks to everyone who's helped me get to where I am now. For using my content for an example, this time last year, I was at 900 something followers. Now I'm at 100K. And just the simple ability to pause and be grateful for that. The ability to stop and not just want more, and be grateful for that. At times I have a challenge. The idea that you're so ambitious and you want more. Society tells you, get more. You look to your right, you look to your left, you want more. That plants a seed in your heart that tells you what you are, who you are, what you're doing, what you're facing, what you're seeing, what you're believing is not good enough. And if I'm being honest, I experience that all the time with this podcast. For your life, I'm going to ask you one question to start. And this question, for this time of the year, is a common question. It's a common question that you probably, while you're about to destroy the bird on Thanksgiving, destroy the ham, eat and fill your face, this question is a question that will be asked this week. But I'm going to ask the question anyways. What are you thankful for? In your life, what are you thankful for? What are you thankful for this year that happened, that you hoped and wished and prayed for and stressed for, and it happened? What are you thankful for? What are you thankful for that didn't happen? All the times that you could have failed, the times that you could have lost, the times that you could have not been to the place that you're at now, the times where it could have actually been really dangerous for you, the times where God saved you, the times where you don't even understand that you were helped out of. What are you thankful for? You see, in our lives, we forget and we don't even recognize the moments that we were saved out of. For my life, for this podcast, I've told this story a bunch of times, but it's my experience. Obviously, if you talk and you have a podcast that you post and you post content, you're going to talk about the same experience. experiences. Also, I want to get better at relaying my experiences. But nevertheless, nonetheless, any of the less, the time, my senior year of college, playing at Texas Tech, 2019, my team, we're coming off a year where we went to the Elite Eight, and I was one of the only returners that's been there since the Fab Four, Fab Five, they called us, came to Texas Tech. So picture one of the best classes, recruiting classes in Texas Tech history and school history, coming to a school and leaving the school. It was like a mass exodus out. And guess who was left? The kid right here. Because I broke my right foot, my left foot, I was broken in college. I pushed past it in college, went from 300 to 245 pounds in college. Anyways, but the broken time, the time of struggle, offered me another year of college. And in this last year of college, being a super senior, in my super senior year, I faced real tragedy. Big game, big week in my life, Valentine's Day week. I was about to tell my girl, I love you. And I've never told my girl I loved her before. I felt it, but I didn't want to say it because I didn't know what love was and I didn't have that example. So I didn't know how to express that. And all her friends saying, oh, he liking other girl pics on Instagram and he don't like you. I never, and obviously I never cheated. I never wanted to cheat. I never even thought to cheat. It's just like, no. Oh, if they saying that, go with that. You don't trust me? You don't trust me? Nevertheless, I was finally stepping into that, voicing that love practically. And this is a sidebar. If you have not voiced to a partner that you love them, that you care about them, that you appreciate them, that they mean so much to you in their life, in your life, and you just expect them to poof, be like you and know what you know and live how you know and know your heart. No, they don't know your heart. They don't know your heart. They don't know your heart. You express your heart. That's life. You express your heart out of the abundance of the big pumping pulse that you got in your heart. The beating, the chest bumping that you got out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. There's no such thing as a silent prayer. There's no such thing as a silent compliment. Like, for those listening on audio, I just motioned with my head. There's no such thing as silence. It's the expression of that love. And for me, I was actually doing that. I broke into my girl house, left her all her favorite prizes. Awards. What'd she get? A trophy? I mean, gifts. I left all her gifts. Apple TV, made her some cheesecakes, which I'm about to do as we destroy the bird here. Vegan one, of course, because I'm vegan. But anyways, as I left her house, after I stepped into that place that I've never been before, a vulnerable stage where I'm expressing my loves and what I gate, or what I got her rather, and I'm voicing that love. And when I'm communicating, I'm driving to the airport. And on my ways to the airport, I think this is the first time in my life where I've actually felt appreciated. I've actually felt seen. I've actually felt heard. I've actually felt significant. I've actually felt loved practically. I was on my way to pick up my cousin from the airport, who flied all the way from Boston, Beantown, Massachusetts, went to a connection flight in Houston, Texas, and was on his way to little old Lubbock for the first time to watch me play, to be with me, to be at my house, to be with his family, to meet my girl. I felt loved. I felt appreciated. And as the story goes, I called my cousin that lives in Lubbock, Texas as well, because he goes to Texas Tech, my younger cousin. He had just traveled, or transferred rather, from UTSA the year prior and was now at Texas Tech. And I call him and I say, hey, Sosa is his name. OT, you know your cousin from Beantown, Boston, Massachusetts? That boy done brought his big back to Texas. And he happens to be here tonight. What you doing? Where you at? Let's link. And Sosa goes, boy, I got some homework I'm doing right now. I'm going to hit you up later. And so as I drive OT back to the house, we get in my apartment, make some food, and we just chill. We talk about our week. We talk about how excited I am for him to meet my girlfriend. And I get the call back from Sosa, and he goes, "Let's meet at Mesquite's tonight at 10." I'm saying 10 because I can't remember the time. Mesquite's is a local bar where you go out and you have a time. We go to that local bar, and we do have a time. And this time is now 12. And so for the past 2 hours, I had just been soaking up the love and the appreciation that I can tangibly feel, the presence that I can tangibly feel in this moment, in this season of this year. You can tangibly feel the love being around family, friends, loved ones. You can feel that love, your well-being. You feel whole. And in that time, I felt whole. 2 hours ran up, and at midnight, I had to go. I had a workout in the morning. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. I walked to the door with my cousin, OT, and I say, "If you need anything, call me. Here's my address. I love you. Thank you so much for taking the time to come here to Lubbock, Texas for me. I'll see you tomorrow, and we will have a day." We were playing the Baylor Bears, and to position us as number one in the conference, something that we hadn't done in school history. And that was the last time I ever saw him. That was the last time I ever saw them. As the story goes, later that day, they got hit by an 18-wheeler. And I remember going throughout the day thinking, oh, my cousin's at a girl's house. He's in a different city. He's just having a good time. And I remember looking at my location, and his location was by my cousin that lived in Lubbock. It was similar or around the environment, around the where his house was, that's where the ping was. So I'm like, oh, okay, it probably didn't, you know how it buffers old stinky iPhones. I was like, it's probably just buffering cool. 3 p.m. comes. I'm on my way to practice, actually in the tunnel, walking to the locker room, and I get a call from Instagram. And I'm like, who the hell calls someone on Instagram? Has somebody lost their mind? I look at it, and it happens to be my cousin that goes to Texas Tech, his friend, calling me. And he goes, "Where is Sosa? I have not seen Sosa. And he lives with me. So where is he?" And so I pick up my phone and I check the location again. And now my cousin's location says he's at the Lubbock Police Department. And I'm thinking, okay, the boy is about to go have to come as savior of the universe and bail out my cousin today. I get in the car, I race, and I'm on the highway, and I get a call from the older sibling of my cousin Sosa that went to Texas Tech, and he says the news that Sosa and OT died. They got hit by an 18-wheeler. And I've shared this story a bunch of times. And I'm not going to lie, even part of me right now is kind of jumping over the details because I don't think it's time for me to sit in this, because that's not what I wanted to do this episode for. But I don't like to put on like I'm somebody. No, I just put the camera and roll. But I'm saying this to say that as I hear that news and I somehow managed to get to the Lubbock Police Department, I can hear the screams and the cries from friend after friend after friend after person that knows my cousin that went to Texas Tech come in and asking me to relay the news. And I'm getting calls from all over the world, from China, from Nigeria, from London, from Texas, from Boston, from California, people asking me. And I'm almost relaying the story over and over. Identify the body. Can you do this? Just the sheer disbelief of what has occurred. And I shared this as well before, but I'll share it again. I get a call from my mom, and she's almost shocked, and she's thanking God because she hears the voice of her son, myself, still there, still here on earth. For some reason, she had gotten the impression that I didn't make it. And she tells me that she was in Target. She dropped everything in the middle of the aisle and ran home. She was calling my dad. My dad was like, nope, it cannot happen to my son. It cannot happen to my son. He was speaking that. My dad, he was just speaking that. No emotion, like, nope, nope, nope. As soon as she gets home, she calls everyone. She calls. She finally gets a hold of me, and her reaction was in indifference, because it's like, okay, I'm happy, but then I'm sad. And for me, I was just mad because I don't want to hear you glad in my ear right now. So I hang up the phone. And years later, that moment still comes up in my mind. The moment where I realized that God has a plan and a mission for my life, and a vision for my life, and a reason that I'm still here on this planet Earth speaking to you. And it's taken me a long time to really sit with that and to really appreciate and accept that. I did the wrong things. Growing up, I was in the gangs. I was girls doing the wrong things. I've never smoked the thing in my life, but I done drank. Popping pills, pain pills, as I got a concussion and I got a torn hamstring in Germany. But now I'm in a time where I got a prejudiced head coach saying all these things to me. I'm lost in my mind, and I've never taken on what people said before in my life, but I'm finally wearing it. Early in the morning, in the middle of the day, at night, I'm hearing the same negative, oh, you're nothing, you shouldn't be here, you're not good enough to play in Europe, we don't wear do-rags in Europe, why do you even think you can play at this league? You should just go and leave. The idea was to try to get the weakest link off the team. It was a first-year coach, a lot of pressure on him in Bamberg, and he wanted to get the American with the big contract out of his team. So, okay, he can get an American that can actually play, because I was hurt at the time, onto his team to make him look good. I'm saying all that to say I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be here speaking and trying to encourage you for your story, for your journey, for your week, for your day. If I was to ask you the question again, what are you thankful for? What would be your answer? Because that answer that you give, it's the lens that you see your life through. If you have nothing to be thankful for, you're living a life of depression. If you have nothing to be grateful for, you're living a life of sadness. If you have nothing that you can point that says, hey, I'm so thankful, I'm so grateful, I'm so amazed at how God managed to get me out of that place. I'm so grateful. I know what it felt like. I know what I thought. I know the things that I've shared with nobody, that I've suppressed. I know the suicidal ideation that I fought. Oh, just end it, end it, end it. I know that I felt that and I got out of that. If you can't be thankful for that moment, if you can't see that moment as amazing, as such an indicator that God is working in you and through you and around you and supporting you and lifting you and making you significant already, deeming you significant already, putting purpose inside of you already. And honestly, man, turkey, friends, family aside, I don't know what will. I don't know what story will tell you, because I know there's so many examples in your life there's evidence, and there's evidence of the greater one that loves you all over your life. You might not feel it. And I have no idea what you're going through right now. You just got out of a relationship and you feel broken, you feel hurt, you feel down. You're in this time where now you're out of a relationship and you have no family. You have no family because that partner was your family. And now you're on the week of family, of the week of thanks, and you have nobody in your physical environment to side with. I have no idea what it's like to be that you, be you. But if I am you, I'm telling you, I love you. I love you. I don't care about where I'm at, what I'm stepping up and I'm saying, I love you. And God loves you too. And for you to know that, even that these people aren't in my physical environment, I can fill my mental environment with love, with joy. But you cannot do so without recognizing the love and joy that's always been in your life. Ain't no if, ands, or buts about it. There's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you're on this earth. There is a reason right now that you're listening to this podcast, to this video. This fine young brother right here, I'm going to claim it, run and tell that. There is a reason. This ain't by chance, a coincidence, a whim. There is a reason. You listened to this podcast a long time ago. Now you've just finally clicked it because I picked a title after this episode that really spoke to your spirit. There is a reason why you're here. And it's to recognize that reason and give thanks and be grateful for that reason. In this season of your life, in this time of your life, I'm going to ask you the question again as I do a dramatic spin. Let's do two. What are you thankful for? Can you call a friend? Can you call a family member and give them your honest appreciation for the role they played in who you are? The ideas that you've taken on from outside. Maybe it's a podcast like this one. Maybe it's a newsletter like something that you're subscribed to. Maybe it's a book. Can you take in that information and to tell the author, tell the podcaster, the not asking for praise, tell that person that I really appreciate what you did in my life, and then go farther and actually be specific on the change that that person helped you see in yourself that was needed and that you chose for yourself to act in your life. What are you thankful for? God has brought you so far. He's gotten you so far, and I know you want so much more. Me too. Toodaloo, me too. And I don't think it's something to hide that, oh, I want more. Oh, I'm ungrateful. No, I'm not. I'm saying I'm grateful and I want more. But in this day and every day, before I ask and petition the source for more, I can have thanks. Can you call that friend and tell him I'm sorry? Can you apologize? Not because you actually did anything wrong, but it's because of the spirit of apology that you live in. The spirit of gratitude, the spirit of love, the spirit of I don't care and I will not open the door. I will not yield to the enemy. I will not yield to my mind believing my mind saying, oh, I can forgive him and I can forget. That's impossible. 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 I like to do the different accents. Let me try a Nigerian accent to cap it off because it makes impossible. That's impossible. That's impossible. Because when you open the door for the enemy to reign and rule in your life, he's not just going to say, okay, yeah, I got him there. No, he wants more and more and more and more and more. He takes. He's a thief, literally a thief coming to steal, kill, and destroy. And when you open the door, it's like open the door for a criminal. Here you go. Just take one thing. Take I don't want to really apologize, so take that. So I'll close my mouth. Take my mouth. Take my mouth away. Take my speech away. And you think the enemy, the mind bully, your adversary after your life is just going to say, all right, I'll take this and leave. No, he want that. He want your nice big TV. He wants your nice big purpose. He wants your nice big talents. He wants your nice big gifts. He wants your nice big energy. He wants your nice big authenticity, your audacity. He wants all of it. In this stage of your life, he's taken all of it. You've let him take all of it. It's time for you right now to say, I don't care how I feel. I will be thankful and take my life back. You cannot take your life back if you're steady in unforgiveness, in resentment, in anger, in sadness, in fear. You have so much faith in your fears. You have so little faith in your future. You have so much faith in your doubts. You have so little faith in your focus, in your dreams, in your mission. You have so little faith in that because you're living your life on what you see, on what you think, on what you smell, on what you touch, on what you can hear from everybody else. I don't live my life that way. What would it be like walking by faith? I can only share my experience. I'm a faith-filled man. I always say I ain't preaching, but sometimes I preach, but I use words. I always preach. Always preach. Sometimes I use words. I always like to say that, but I'm a faith-filled man. I cannot abandon myself. That would be inauthentic. It's not authenticity. But if this is in my spirit, I'm going to share it, period. If it seems like a sermon, who cares? Bye. I don't need ya. I don't need ya. But as a practical human being on earth, I would like to see what values you stand for and what values you stand for. Mine is faith. Mine is the word of God. Mine is the redemption, the healing power of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who has given me power through his spirit to reign and rule in my life. If you are a believer, if you have the Holy One inside of you, the Holy One inside of you is bigger than anything that you have faced and bigger than anything that you have faced. And if there's nothing else God ever gives you, if there's nothing else, even that, the indwelling spirit is enough to thank him every single day. You reign and rule in life already because of that inside of you right now. Yes. And so I'm asking you again, this one last question. And I want you to really think about it as you're running off this at the gym so you can not run off this when you sit down and you eat on Thanksgiving Day. I'm going to ask you this again and get a good specific answer. What are you thankful for? What has God brought you through? The change that you've seen in you. Can you quantify it? Can you understand and go back and remap or map out where you were and put the little dotted, on the little maps, they put a little solid, not the solid lines, the dotted lines to where you are now. Can you go back in the dots and go to the first dot where you were? And can you map it to where you are now? Can you go back and be thankful for the journey that you've been on? Because when you're able to do that, you're able to see through a new lens. You're able to think differently, to experience life differently, to be whole. The external validation, the people, the items, the materials mean nothing. But you're able to step and stand in what means everything. I love you. And I hope this episode right now has done something for your spirit, for your body. At this moment, I'm transparent as it is, and I'm not sure that the mic is still picking up my audio. So I don't want to stop this because I told you that I'd never edit my episodes. Bye-bye God, please now, please, I beg. It's still rolling. It's still rolling. Hold on, I got to check how long I've been going. How long have I been going? Does it show how long I've been going? Oh, 30 minutes. About 30 minutes. Just how I like it as I get back on camera. Yeah, I'm going about like 20, 29, 30 minutes. I got this in my spirit now. I kind of know. It's really cool. I kind of know. And honestly, I can go for an hour. But, I know that your attention span is short-lived. And you would just want 30. No, I'm kidding. But I know it's better for the algorithm if I cut it down short. But honestly, I just want to take this moment to give you thanks, because if you're listening to this episode, that means you care, not just about yourself. You care about how you show up. You want to know and learn more about yourself. And hopefully Lawrence, in some fashion, inspired by Baba God himself, has been able to help you see you. And I've been able to speak to you through everything you've gone through this year, the weeks that you had, the crazy months that you had. I've had personal experiences where people come up to me and thank me for the voices that I've shared on this podcast, the knowledge that I've shared on this podcast or on my content. I always tell them, thank you. I'm a yielded vessel, but that's God speaking to you. But if you've been here listening to this, I'm thanking you, honestly, because there's so many young people, old people in this world that don't really care about how they show up. They don't really care about how they look. And you care. You're doing the work. You're searching. You're a seeker. And now, hopefully, you got your big eyes on the right prize. For me, I got to tell you, because if you are on this podcast, you're allowing me to influence you. Just as you're allowing everybody else to influence you as you scroll. As you allow me to influence you, I'm got to speak my truth. The only way to get that peace, love, joy, everything is through the one man, Jesus Christ. Because you're seeking, obviously, you want to communicate with God himself. The only mediator between God and man is what? Jesus Christ. But I'm thankful. I want to do more with this podcast, whether it's being in different locations and getting back to the interviews. I've said this again, I'll say it more because again, this is living in public, building in public. I have episodes with other people, whether it's a Texas Tech kind of series or a live series that I haven't actually posted that people keep asking about. I'm not sure how to package that. Maybe it's on here, maybe it's on a different forum. I'm going to do that, but I want to do more interviews with people because I love people. This weekend, I've been able to go to so many different groups. Shout out Jalen. He's having a baby. I went to his baby shower? No, gender reveal. I went to a creative workshop. I just went to church. I talked to a lot of people. I talked to my dad last night for 2 hours. That was great. And he just preached in church. Shout out Dad. He did well. Anyways, I've been able to talk to so many people. I want to be able to share those conversations on this platform because I know that it will help as you're in that time. Your mind belief reigns in your mind. I want you to stop and listen to this. If you didn't listen to all my spiel, listen to this. If it's you versus you, the voice that you listen to is important. There's an adversary. There's a voice after your light, after your life, after your enthusiasm right now that is offering you so many experiences, so much evidence that you see physically with your eyes that says otherwise than everything that I've shared, that says you're less than, that says you're unlovable, that says you're insignificant, that says you're incapable, that says your dreams have passed away, that says you'll never find love, you'll never get married, you'll never have friendships, you'll never build a family, a life, you'll never have a fruitful life based on the traits that you have, that says you don't have any traits, that says you should just stop. You look stupid. I need to tell you and beat down your big fat head that is not the truth. And the enemy is coming at you with so much lies and loud in your mind because that's not the truth, because you're dangerous, because you have so much more to do in your life. I need you to take this moment to say, oh, okay, I'm going to be curious. I'm going to resist. Be curious and say, okay, I feel this way. The emotions that I have, I feel this way, but I'm going to do something about the way that I feel. And this is a signal. If I'm triggered, it's a signal to something deeper. I'm going to go back, like the little dotted line I said, and do the work to map it out, to see where this is coming from. And then I can get curious and apply the new truth that I had offered by Father God, used by a vessel like Norris that says, get in your word to speak to me in my life. If you like any of what was shared here, and if you're thankful for this podcast, and if you know somebody else in your life would be thankful for this message, do me a favor. You see how I wrote the R? A favor. Do me a favor. Rate and review this podcast. Rate it honestly. Review it honestly. It does so much. And it does something for me because not selfishly, but my mind would be like, oh, they didn't care. There's no comments. Norris, it's a faith thing. It don't matter if nobody ever comments ever. It's faith. But it does. It's like a treat. So if you like treats, then give treats and rate and review this podcast. It does so much for me on this podcast to reach more homes and hearts all over the globe to focus and challenge the negative voice in their head. Until the next time. And maybe it's in a different location. Let me know if you like this location. Peace and love, beautiful people. Happy Thanksgiving. And if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving in the country that you're at, because a lot of my people, them, all over the world. Shout out to Londoners. Shout out to my South Africans. I got a lot of you guys out there. Germany, I got a lot of you guys out there. Shout out to you. But if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, how can you celebrate the spirit of Thanksgiving every single day? Figure that out, because there's a lot of ways. Anyways, till the next one. Love ya. Bye. And I walk off like I just turned off the camera, but until I turn off the camera, I'm going to keep talking. Anyways.